Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Banks back in the saddle. Tuesday. AI, how you feeling, bro?
Great.
We are officially live, bro.
Hello. Well, I don't hear anything in my headphones. Test. 1, 2. And that's why.
There you go.
1, 2, 3.
And Jay said, let there be sound.
And let there be sound.
All right, everybody. What's cracking? How we feeling, man?
Let's go.
Back in the saddle. Tuesday. We've got a lot going on. There's a lot happening, bro.
There is.
There's this entire scenario going on in the baseball card world, and no one's talking about it, bro. And I want to have a conversation with somebody, but nobody knows that this guy. There's this guy. First of all,
There's so much going on.
yeah. All right. I apologize. My mind's running crazy. Before I jump on the other side of the table, I want to give the introduction because he definitely deserves it. Jonathan Chia, he's a Cincinnati native, lives out in L.A. He has started some amazing things out there in Los Angeles. He's a philanthropist. You've got the Reality Center. You're a veteran as well. So you've in this. It blows my mind at all the things that you've done at such a young age, man. Like, you're here, this week because your son's 25th birthday, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, bro. Like, none of this, like, you're not old enough to have a 25-year-old son. You're like, no, I had him at 18. It's like, bro, that's and honestly, like, I really feel like people that have kids at a young age, they find their fire early, right? Because it's like you've got to adapt or die at this point. Like, it's not just you got another mouth to feed. But without any further ado, we've got Jonathan Chia here at Native on the Levee in Cincinnati, man. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. The rain got us a little bit, clipped us. On
The
way in.
It did.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that coming, and then we went to go get the wine, and I've got the baggy pants on, bro. So I'm living the '90s right now with these soaked bottom jeans. But
Is the weather? You're in California, so the weather vastly different than here. The humidity here is probably crazy.
Yeah, zero humidity. Between 72 and 82, sunny every day for the most part.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes some overcast if you're close to the beach.
What part of California are you in?
I'm in Toluca Lake. That's where our house is at.
Okay.
Sort of the suburbs, right over the Hollywood Hill there. And our office, the Reality Center, is in Santa Monica, right there on the beach on 2nd Street.
At Reality Center, what is it? What's the full name of it?
Yeah, so it's Reality Center.
Reality Center, straight
it.
up? Okay,
Yeah.
that's it?
And so it's a sensory wellness center and digital psychedelic lab.
Okay.
And we specialize in using light, sound, and vibration to take you on a deep journey into your inner consciousness.
Oh, really?
We call what we do entertainment.
Entertainment.
And so we developed
Okay.
a way to simulate a psychedelic experience and all the healing benefits that come with it.
Because I
but
see on your
without-
hat, it says reset, expand, elevate.
Yeah, so it stands
which is-
for
Yeah.
starting off resetting your central nervous system, right? And then expanding your consciousness and your awareness and elevating your life.
No kidding. So
Interesting.
where? Yeah,
That's
where
so
did you? Where did you come up or think of something like this? I mean, obviously, there's, like, to me, there's definitely some sort of like grounding or things that like that we're not aware of yet. That people talk about grounding where they'll put a hole in the bottom of their shoes and put a
You just
little
take your shoes
coil in
off.
there. Seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, man. It's like people, people are just now figuring out about these things, and it kind of feels like you're on the forefront of it all.
Yeah, we have been for a little bit. Our team has always came from an event experiential background of production, whether it's through, massive EDM events or small little experimental events. We've been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Making people feel the vibe, making people feel good, making people feel community, making people feel close to one another.
So can you explain how the process of Reality Center works? Because that's something where, like, I wasn't aware of what Reality Center is or what it actually does. I know you did a lot of work during the fires, which was incredible to see, man. It made it all the way here to Cincinnati. It wasn't just Facebook and Instagram where you're seeing these things. It's like, we saw news reports of the Reality Center and Jonathan Chia and you guys stepping up to the plate and helping when everyone else was kind of, had their hands up in the air, like, I don't know what to do. Like, you guys just went to the ground and just said, this can be, a home base to bring things in, and to ship things out. So it's really impressive to see what you're doing, man. But to put all of that on the back of the Reality Center when you're trying to do something completely different, it just shows the character that you are. You know what I mean? When it's time to pivot, you're able to pivot when the community needs it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, coming from my background, being a combat veteran, spending 15 months in Iraq, and during that time we lost 16 of our guys, but when I got back, I lost both of my best friends within 1 year getting back with a needle in their arm to drug overdose.
Oh, man.
And a lot more in counting since we got back, way more than we lost in Iraq. And when I got out, just tried to go back to life. I became a director and a photographer. As you know, I had a lot of success doing that. I worked with everybody from Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian, Kevin Hart, the President of the United States. But when a lot of my friends started taking their lives, a lot of my work started gravitating towards telling that story.
Yeah.
And that led me and my business partner, Tarun Raj, to an equestrian therapy program in Stillwell, Kansas, where they reunited me with about 10, 15 people from my unit that I haven't seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Then
that had to be like a mind fuck in its own, and not seeing these guys for that long, and the memories that you guys have aren't, some of them might be happy, you know what I mean, but like most of the memories that you guys have are probably like panic driven and like built on fear, you know what I mean?
But some of them are good things you need to be reminded of, because sometimes when you get out, you used to be Superman and you lost your ability to fly when you go back to normal life.
I've seen that, bro. Like that is such a good way to explain it too, man, because I had a friend of mine that came back from the war, and I saw him at Chi-Chi's in Florence, and he was just at the bar, and it was like, like his, like he looked dead inside. You know what I mean? Like he didn't know how to adapt like back to reality, and it's, you hear those stories and you go, man, like it can't be that hard. But it is, because you guys have, you spent the last 18 months like hunting people and making sure that you weren't killed. And all of a sudden you go back to having a beer at Chili's when everyone's out there with the family just hanging out, and you're just looking around going like, none of this seems familiar. You know what I mean? Like,
basically your body's been in fight or flight mode for the last couple years.
Yeah.
And it doesn't know how to reverse back from it. And so you're just in this heightened state forever, and brings your heart rate up, brings your mind racing. Your hyperarousal factor is up. You can never sleep. You never feel reset. You never get into your REM, which is your good sleep, where you get, your mind, body, and soul repairs much more exponentially.
Right.
You just never get to that place, so it feels like Groundhog's Day for them. And it sometimes dives deep down into depression.
Of course,
It's
yeah.
like the same day as every day, and they program us really well in the military, but they don't know how to deprogram us from some of those killers. And so that's where our technology steps in, where it allows us to meet them where they're at, and we use light, sound, and vibration. So imagine our place is like a digital speakeasy. You go in, the lights are really dark, it's lit by neon lights all over the place, and smells amazing. Our team is very inviting and professional. And we built this place for veterans and first responders and people in our community. And you lay on a vibrating surface. We put LED lights over your face. We put headphones on, and all the light, sound, and vibration is all synchronized to a modulation of a bunch of different frequencies. So for the first 10 minutes, we put you through a little challenge.
Okay.
It's the most intensive part of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's a frequency sound bath. So if you've never heard of binaural beats, it's a way for us to regulate your brain waves and your heart rate.
Is that like a 432 hertz? Like,
It's all different kinds of frequencies,
Okay.
depending on what brainwave state you're trying to go into. So if you speed the frequencies up, it's gonna make your mind go fast. It'll bring your heart rate up, right?
Right.
Sometimes that can mean flow state. We're thinking of the next idea, but maybe it's it's anxiety,
Sure.
right? So it can be both ways, depending on how you channel it. Or it can slow it down, where it can take away your anxiety and stop your mind from over racing, or maybe to put you to sleep and help with that side of things. So,
Flow state. That's interesting. Yeah.
yep, yep. Yeah. Some of our technology is used, and you guys ever watch F1?
Yeah.
And so our technology is used in the championship Red Bull drivers' headphones. And the pit
That's
crew.
dope.
That's dope.
That's incredible, man. Actually, speaking of on subject but off subject, Jordan Blackmore.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine from high school. He was, I think he was more towards your
A little older.
your
than me.
class,
Just a
yeah.
little bit older.
But he was an all-state wrestler, and like before the games, like he would have Mozart or Beethoven in the headphones, and that's the shit that he would listen to before he actually wrestled, which was, you know, you just see him out there with the headphones on, and you're thinking, all right, he's probably listening to, you know, Childish Gambino or somebody. But to hear that he's listening to Beethoven, you know, is like, okay, like he's really like trying to get his mindset and you think outside the box. Like when, you know, most people are, you know, trying to get that they want to listen to DMX before they go into the fight. You know what I mean? But there's some clarity to the things when you realize that you know the different type of hertz, you know, the different type of vibrations and sounds have, you know, different, you know, it's almost like calming the body. You know what I mean? So like when I asked about the 432 hertz is because that's something that I've been doing at nighttime, which is listening to a soundtrack at 432 hertz, which is like the lower end frequency that's supposed to, you know, relax you, give you good sleep, see aliens, whatever the case may be. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It's different for everybody. We look at everybody as an instrument and a different kind of instrument, and everybody needs to be tuned a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And so, basically, you lay on our beds for about an hour, and it'll take you on a deep introspective journey in your consciousness. And just like psychedelics, it serves up what you need most of the time.
So
people-
with that thought, like where you're at, so when someone comes to you, is there a process that, I mean, do they know what they're looking for, or do you help them find what they're looking for, like by a series of questions or from in that kind of region?
The difference between what we do and a lot of modern mental health practices, they're looking for things that are wrong with you and trying to fix them. At the Reality Center, we're looking for what's right with you, what you love, and we're trying to help you amplify that in your life. And so when you do that, most of the time it calms down all the things that are going on in your life that some people might take it as a negative or stressors in your life.
So when you're like, but so when you ask, are these questions you're asking though, how does this,
No.
the process is it
No,
fast?
so-
Is there, I mean, how
No,
do you determine?
No,
Okay.
you come in, you fill out a medical waiver.
Okay.
When people book a session online, they're telling us their healing goals most of the time. Like,
Okay.
hey, I went through a divorce last month, or I lost my dad, or we treat lots of veterans. We know what the issues are with
Sure,
veterans
yeah,
when they
yeah.
come in most of the time.
Yeah.
And what
Familiarity for sure. I mean, yeah.
And what we're trying to do is, and same thing what psychedelics is trying to do, is take you deep into your inner consciousness and allow you to visit some of the things that are causing dissonance or stress in your life, or whatever's going on internally. And a lot of people in the, like, for instance, a lot of the females in the military are dealing with sexual trauma. They're not dealing with bullets and bombs. They're dealing with somebody in their chain of command making sexual advances towards them.
Yeah.
And treating them in not the correct manner. So it's different for everybody most of the time. But a lot of females, sexual trauma. A lot of men, trauma from their father, a lot.
Okay.
People that are dealing with grief. And so people that lost loved ones that they need to connect with.
Yeah.
They can, a lot of times, go visit them. And when they connect with them, and they feel that energy, a lot of times it lets them process or let go of some of the grief and maybe move into the more celebratory times and get some of those pictures out and talk about them. Maybe start a nonprofit or a fund or in their name.
Okay, so
Helps them move forward in life.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I mean, going that deep into someone's consciousness and triggering and I guess releasing pressure that's holding them back is, I mean, that's because I mean the layers that you're peeling back are, I mean, I'm sure some come from, I mean, they're from childhood to all the way to the where the trauma probably, I mean, bottlenecked, I guess you could say. So do you, after this experience, is there like a post?
Yeah, it's
process?
called integration.
Okay, integration. Okay.
For people that don't know, anytime you go through a psychedelic experience or something like what we do, there's always an integration time afterwards. And that's almost just as important as the experience itself. So you can process everything. Because as we talk about stuff, more things are going to come up. It's like a dream. We suspend you in this awake, lucid dream, really unplugging yourself from the matrix.
Yeah,
and
right.
You're starting to visit all these different things. A lot of people say it's like a movie reel of their life is playing, and they're just visiting and picking different moments out.
That's so fascinating.
Just like, if you guys ever heard of DMT, dimethyltryptamine, that's what really happens in that 15, 30 minutes. But a lot can happen in that time. But that's when the game, the shot clock does start afterwards. What you do with that information or those gifts or those downloads or those visits from people on the other side or your relatives that you need to apply into your new life.
Yeah.
And just like psychedelics, doing microdosing over long periods of time helps with the neuroplasticity of the brain. As you get older, you have less neuroplasticity, and so when you go through these psychedelic experiences, you have more neuroplasticity. It's like you're almost childlike again. Your brain's a little bit softer, and so everything you do from that moment on is going to start rewriting what your new future is going to be. You can reprogram your mind way better in those moments, in those weeks after those experiences.
And after people have gone like weeks afterwards, is there like follow-up process to see where they're at? Like, I mean, I'm sure some of these people you probably keep in contact with because you probably know them personally to a degree.
Yeah, but when it comes down to like veterans and most people, like we're going through such a personal experience that we become. Let me explain it to you. You guys ever seen any survival shows like Survivor?
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
After bunch of strangers who don't like each other pretty much in the beginning. Day 3, little Bobby falls off the ledge and he has to go home. He gets air carried out and everybody's in tears.
Yeah.
It's because they get thrown into this such high intensity situation together. They just become so close so fast. Mm-hmm. And so when you're going through this, experience at the reality center and we're talking about some deep shit, we become family really fast. So I almost feel obligated to give him my phone number. Like, bro, anytime anything comes up, I can always step outside for 15 minutes or 30 minutes and jump on the phone and talk through something.
And you've always been good with that too, man. Ever since I first met you, you've always been so quick to return a phone call or to answer a text, and not just hey, how are you? It's like you keep the conversation going. You're asking how are you? What's going on? How's the business? Like it's not just a check-in moment. Like with you, like there's context behind the reasons why you're texting me. It's not just, hey, I'm just, checking in. Like you're, checking on my mental state, which it's really cool to see, especially because, like I said, like, we haven't been friends for very long, but the second that I met you, it was like we've been boys forever. You know what I mean? And that's the type of mindset that like, or the aura that you present is like, I need to be around this guy.
And those are the only type of people that I want around me, that I keep around me. People that I want to be family and really close friends.
For sure.
That we check up on each other, especially in a mental health state.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just my duty at the end of the day. I have so many friends die and commit suicide, and I know how hard things get, especially being an entrepreneur. So my entrepreneur friends and buddies, whether if they own a restaurant or a clothing store, I'm checking up on them.
Right.
And when you tell me about things, whether it's some new printing thing or the hat vending machine, like I'm thinking of ideas. Like, why not think of creative ways to help your friends and help them thrive and help them make money, help bring people in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love it, man. So when you were doing this thing at the reality centers, before I get into this, I'm trying to visualize the room or the compartment, right? So, when
show you.
yeah, I was gonna say when we go to the reality center, is it are you in like one of those like bathtubs? Is it a full room? Oh wow, dude, that's a whole LED screen on the back wall.
Yeah. And so there's a group setup, there's a couple setup, and there's 2 individual rooms with our flagship device, which is called the Wave Table.
Mm-hmm.
And so imagine you're laying on a float tank with your clothes on.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're sitting on 2 15-inch subwoofers that are
Nice.
inches from your back.
Yeah.
Then after you lay down, all the lights go out. We put LED lights over your face, then headphones on. Then our reality manager is on the other side, neuro DJing your session. And so after all the lights go out, we're both on comms together, and your eyes closed. Your eyes are closed the entire time. Then we do a little guided meditation, little intention setting, little breath work so you know how to breathe.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a walk in the park. It's a pretty intense situation
Yeah, I'm sure.
that you're
Yeah.
in, that you're like, most people are like, oh shit, I'm not in Kansas anymore.
Right. Yeah.
It's just like ripping the DMT pin sort of in the beginning.
No kidding.
Almost even more intense than just eating a stem or a cap of some mushrooms.
No shit.
Yeah, because it's very visual and very body-like. Imagine you're sitting on 2 15-inch subwoofers. So have you ever,
Oh yeah.
you ever been in a car, a Civic hatchback with 2 15s?
Oh yeah.
So imagine that, but with more healing music.
Right. Right.
How
That's-
much space do you actually have to move your arms? How much space do you have?
You're not moving.
You're not moving. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That's intense for sure.
Yep.
It's
You're not
definitely
moving. You're
yeah,
just laying there.
You're just laying
with
there.
your eyes closed. So you don't have to do much.
You don't have to, okay.
You don't even have to talk to us.
That's
So
awesome.
it's very easy. You just have to breathe, focus on those intentions, hold them close to your heart. We help you build out. We're probably the world's most experts at people's happy places. We treated over 3,000 people at the Reality Center the last 3 years. And so we basically help you build wherever your happy place is. So when you leave and walk out that door, anytime you feel stress or anxiety or you want to sleep better or focus yourself, you can always just close your eyes and go back to that happy place. And
All
instantly
right.
it's going to lower your brain waves, lower your heart rate, which makes you calm.
Right.
And we have a saying in the military, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And so when you bring people down, bring their heart rate down, bring their brain waves down, then things do come up in your life that you have to battle through. You're like a ninja, right? It's the Matrix.
Yeah.
Right? When you're slowed down and those bullets are moving past you, you can deflect all that stuff a little bit easier. And that's the place we're trying to take people. So when you walk out and life happens, which it's always going to happen. Human beings, we're just meant to fix problems on a daily basis. And the more you learn that, the more less stressed your life will be, because you'll just be looking at them as just what you have to do,
Right.
instead of an issue or a problem.
I totally agree. That's pretty much how I take on life, every step of the way.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot in the store, which is like, don't cry over spilled milk. You know what I mean? Like, it's already spilled. Like, instead of crying that you spilled it, figure out a way to clean it up. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people that'll sit there and they'll cry when they drop the glass, and then there's some people that drop the glass and look for the first thing to be able to clean it up, man.
Yeah, I have a client came in the other day, young kid, and he said, obviously after I get everybody on my, my couch, the brown leather couch afterwards in our integration room, everybody's like, all right, that was fucking badass.
Yeah.
Because the difference between a lot of mental health experiences, I don't even say experiences, this clinical mental health stuff, it's not very fun. And so we're making mental health fun. People come in, they want to do it again. They want to bring their friends. They want to talk about it at dinner time. I ask therapists all the time, I said, how much do you think that people are talking about their experience with you over dinner? They said, not. Maybe talking shit.
Right.
Nothing against like therapists or anything like that. I'm all about talk therapy and having a therapist, but there's other things outside of that.
It's
besides
taboo, though,
taking a
like-
pill
like-
and
yeah.
nobody wants to, especially,
Yeah.
let's just say men, for instance, nobody wants to go in and talk to a therapist about their, their problems with their dad or maybe work or something like that. It's not most of the time the manly thing to do.
Right.
And now it's through COVID, everything's sort of changing. Right, everybody's opening up. A lot of celebrities talked about their mental health issues, their addiction issues. If you don't have somebody in your family that's gay, been addicted to something, most people have nowadays.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they know what the battle is, and so people are opening up a lot more, which is cool to me.
Yeah.
You know, more and more people are coming in our doors. As life gets tougher, more and more people look for mental health things. And people are smart these days. It's not just taking a pill or talking to a therapist. Pretty much what they throw at you every single time.
I mean, that's the best part of what you're doing, man, is the fact that you're able to, like, reset people's minds without having the medication or the pills, because, you know, the pills are crazy, bro. Like when you sit here and watch TV and you hear the commercials and it's like, you got anxiety, we can get rid of anxiety, you know, and then the side effects are like loose butthole, fucking insomnia, fucking teeth rot, and it's like, what
is the sacrifice?
Yeah, when,
Yeah.
you know, are you reaping the reward at this point because you're trying to get rid of a cold, and you know you're getting loose limb as a side effect.
Yeah.
Some things are needed, right? If you get sick, sometimes a pharmaceutical pill is needed, but a lot of these pharmaceuticals out there, their whole goal is to keep you on it for life, right? Where a lot of times now we know a lot of these things can be healed naturally, right? And so I'd rather go do a cold plunge, go to yoga, go to the reality center, go run on the beach, than maybe take an SSRI.
Right.
And that's going to be the best medicine ever. And I tell people, if I miss like a morning running or walking 1 mile in the morning, that's the best like Xanax ever. Like, get out in nature and put your headphones on and just like walk a mile or two. Even if it's just like 1 mile up and back, your day will be set. And when things do come up, you'll be a lot more calm and balanced to move through all those things. It's very important. You don't need any money to literally put the headphones in and walk a mile up and back before everything starts in the morning. Everybody's got enough time to do that.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, it really comes down to where you're putting your priorities, because if you're looking at it as that you got to take on the day as soon as you wake up, well, maybe get up a little bit earlier and do like the stretches of the day. Like you said, walk. Some people make their bed, you know, certain things that you compile over time, and like walking, touching earth, and you said put your headphones in. Even for me, I mean, I would rather just listen to the birds and just listen to what it's around
LA,
me.
you just hear traffic, so you got to put the headphones in.
That's fair. That's fair. We don't have as many of those problems where I'm at. But at the same time, like, you make a good point though. Like, your location really dictates like the focus you have to this, because I mean, someone that's thinking about this, that's living out in the Bufus, if you will, that's only seeing local cow, is not going to deal with the distractions that you're getting in LA, where all these distractions happening.
Life is just slower, right? When you have less things coming at you, life moves a lot slower.
Yeah. And it's a reality for someone that's dealing with mental health issues, because the more slowness you have, the more time you have to think, the more things you have to bear and be vulnerable with. Where if there's a lot of distractions, you might be able to put something down within yourself really deep. When there, I mean, location might have a huge deal with this too. You know what I mean? Like, if this was something you were out in the middle of nowhere, the people that you're going to be dealing with will be much different than I'm sure what you're dealing with now.
I lived in Washington State, and the summers were beautiful, but during the winter and the fall, it rained every single day. And the spring, sorry.
And the spring. Three-fourths of the year.
So every single day. One day it was raining 185 days straight rain.
What?
Yeah, I'm not here for that.
Nah, but I mean, that takes someone's spirit. I mean, that puts people in the mental place of, but then again, if you're used to it and that's all you know, I mean, someone that sees sunshine every single day.
You need sun. If you take a plant out of the sun, it'll die.
Yep. Easy as that.
Sun.
That's it.
Yep. Sun.
So when this whole COVID happened, or not COVID, when the fires of LA happened, like what was your mental state? Like, was the city not doing anything? Like, why did you step up and become the catalyst for, because I remember even when all this happened, Chip the Ripper was like,
Chip came out.
I need somebody.
awesome.
Yeah, he's like,
That's
I want
amazing.
to help out if I can.
Yep.
And I messaged Chip, and I was like, "Yo, like, get a hold of my boy Chia. Like, he's doing work out there right now."
Yeah,
so
thanks for connecting us. Shout out to Chip, and we got to help out a lot of people together. And he pulled up in the Cybertruck.
yay, he drove it out
amazing.
there. That's
Yeah.
fire.
Pulled up in the Cybertruck, and we just loaded him up with everything. Pretty much a massive load of diapers, food, all the sort of essential important things that are really expensive. Especially stuff for young kids.
Yeah.
And we just packed up his Cybertruck, and he brought it down to one of the shelters. And then eventually one of his friends that was helping us, he ended up losing his place. And so we got to help him out
Wow.
big time, and just loaded him up with everything he needed. And it was crazy how it happened because my partner Don lives in the Palisades, and he's 73. He's rounding third right now, and a lot of the technology that he built is a lot of the stuff that we use at the reality center. And it's been out for a really long time. The world just wasn't ready for it.
Right.
So when the fires happened, we basically had to, he was evacuated from his home, and we didn't know if his house was burnt down or not. So we had him staying at the reality center. Then somehow one of our celebrity friends tweeted or out that I was like, yeah, I'll help some people, put some people up with whatever they need. And somebody tweeted that we were a shelter. Then I just started fielding calls, like hundreds of calls a day, from people that were trying to not stay with us, but give stuff
Oh, wow.
from all over, from San Diego to Canada.
That's incredible.
And whether it be local churches or just friends that all lived on the block together, people are loading semis filled with all the essential. They would call me and they'd be like, "What do you need?" And I was dealing with everybody who lost their homes. And during COVID, we got our feet wet with global natural disaster, and this was a little bit more confined disaster, but it was right in our backyard, and we're right on the beach. We saw the flames coming right towards us.
That's insane.
It was pretty nuts, and so we got put on as a shelter for some weird reason, and people just started donating goods, and I wasn't going to turn anything away, so people would call us and be like, "I have a tractor trailer filled with potatoes." I'm like, "Bring them." I have 1,000 meals that I want to bring to the veterans or the National Guard or the firefighters, and we treat all the local police and firefighters. Shout out to Dr. Gina Gallivan. She's one of the lead clinical psychologists for all the police and fire agencies. So through her, I knew all the police captains and all the sergeants, and so we were just calling them when everybody was calling us to figure out how to feed all the guys on the front lines, and we were just running supply back and forth with also fielding calls of people that families or themselves lost stuff. And so we shut down the reality center for 3 months. It was filled with sometimes 30 pallets out front on the sidewalk.
That's crazy.
Wow, it's incredible.
Shout out to the mayor, homegirl Lana, and all the Santa Monica Police and Fire that just graciously let us sort of double park tractor trailers on the streets for a couple weeks and just run pallets in and out. The hostel that's right next to us graciously let us put a bunch of stuff in front of them, Hot 8 Yoga next to us, and we were fielding calls of people that lost their homes. 65 people lost their homes, 6,500. And so people would call and they would say, "Hey, I'm in this hotel or at my parents' house. I got kids 1, 5, and 7. None of us have clothes. We lost, we
No
ran out of
shoes,
there.
nothing, bro.
Nothing, nothing, not even a water bottle."
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people, these are multi-million-dollar homes. But when everything burns up in your home, it doesn't matter how rich you are or where you came from. People would come in, they're like, "Oh, no, it's all good. We're just staying in the hotel down the street." I'm like, "Do you have a water bottle?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "You got sons?" "Yeah." "They don't have water bottles?" "Okay, you're going to take these water bottles."
Yeah.
And people were realizing, because a lot of people were in shock. Because they got pushed out of Palisades and they landed in downtown Santa Monica trying to find a hotel or somewhere to stay.
And I'm sure all the
They were
hotels
walking around
started price
half burned up
gouging.
you couldn't price gouge.
Okay,
or
that's
they're,
good.
They're coming for you.
That's good.
Yeah, so it was a good thing they put a little price gouging blanket over a lot of stuff.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
But unfortunately, a lot of people that lost their homes in the Palisades, the insurance companies dropped them 6 months before the fire started.
Heard about that. That's the craziest part about the whole thing,
And
man.
we can go deep into conspiracy theory and what's going on, but ultimately a lot of people lost their homes. I know somebody that was a 40-year golf pro, had a really good life. High school golf, college golf, 40 years pro, And 6 months before, a multi-million-dollar home in the Palisades or forever home, everything in it.
You
And
invested all into your
That's
homestead.
it. That's it. And especially in California, when you have to spend a lot of your income on your home, right? That they just lost everything, and now they're staying in a bungalow,
Right.
a couple years past retirement age in Venice, and they're never going to get that back.
Yeah, that's insane, man.
Yeah, and so we spent about good hard 30 days running supplies to the front lines or anybody that lost anything. No questions asked. You can come into the reality center, grab anything you needed, load your car up. Our team would just run it right out to the front with you.
Yeah.
But we've got to feed thousands of people. We had to move, a couple hundred veterans from the West LA VA campus down to the Bob Hope Patriotic Hall in downtown LA. Worked with the Red Cross. Red Cross had cots and blankets, but they didn't have showers, food, all these other things yet. And so our team, my nonprofit veteran care group, came in, just opened up the checkbook, wrote the checks for, my shout out to my boy that supplied the luxury bathrooms for my wedding.
Oh, okay.
I called him. There was 200 people there, no showers. It was like day 3. I'm like, what the fuck is?
Yeah.
How the fuck are they going to clean their? These are older people that
Yeah.
don't want going too long. I
Yeah.
can go without a shower for a little bit. And so he had 2 showers left, and he pulled up 2 shower trailers.
That's
Wrote
amazing.
the check to him.
Wow.
Thank God. And so we just got really actively involved in everything that was going around, whether it's Altadena or in the Palisades.
I mean, let me just give you
Incredible.
your flowers, bro, because you're the
Take
type
that shit.
you're the type of person that LA needed at that moment, right? Like, you've built these connections and you've built these relationships, not on a moment like this. Like, you've built these relationships because of the person you are. You know what I mean? Like, you're a humble dude. You want to see everybody win, and if there's a seat at the table, you're like, sit down, let's grub. So for somebody like you to be in that situation where the governor, you're like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what are we gonna do? You know what I mean? Like everyone's sitting on their hands. We gotta make moves. So it's like it's so great to see somebody like you that was there at that moment. That you've got a million things going on, bro. A million things, and you got bills that need to be paid. And at a time like this, for you to be able to stop and pivot and work with the community, it just goes to show your character, because you've built all these friendships over the past 10, 20 years. So, and it's not like you're the millionaire. It's not like you're the big bunny in the sky where, when people need to come to you, they can go, hey, I need a 10K. You know what I mean? But somebody like you, you've got that mentality and that drive where when people feel lost, I can look forward to what Jonathan Chia has to say, or his
Thank you.
thought process, and that goes a far drive, man. Especially, like I said, you're from Cincinnati, and for you to be out there in LA and to be able to take the reins when no one else wanted to take the reins, that's a huge character moment in you as a person, bro.
Yeah, I mean, in the military, you go over there and you figure out how to be selfless, right? Like, you're going to die for your country, for the person on the left and right, and you get their first taste of that.
And all you're gonna do is get a name on a plaque in some park.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people go to the military because they don't feel like they are anything.
Right.
And you go there to make somebody proud of you. And it's a good place to start for a lot of people that are looking for that.
That's right. That's
I
a real,
would say
yeah.
that, no matter what you think about the military, it will definitely make you into something. And it can be a really sharp tool if you want it to be.
Yeah.
I met some of the most amazing people, ever in my life. I was just with wild man Rudy Reyes, Marine, really famous veteran.
Wow, man, Rudy Reyes.
And
sounds like he needs to have his own movie.
oh, he have you ever seen Generation Kill? He was in that series on HBO, and he's in a bunch of reality TV shows. But trained killers, but some of the most amazing, gracious, loving people you ever meet in your life. Some of the people from my veteran community.
When you are after you've left the military, how have you connected with people that you met there, even though you may not be close? Is there any any communication circuit that you have been able to like conduct with people to be able to like catch up with people that from the military time? Because I know when you come out, you're like thrown out into public, right? And you're in, and even just getting comms with friends and people, it's got to be the most difficult thing. Have you found anything that makes it easier to
We're all in a
connect?
Facebook group together, everybody
Okay.
in my battalion.
Yeah, okay.
But a lot of people that are sort of military influencers and have brand, maybe they have brands or they have any kind of voice. A lot of us all know each other now.
Okay.
And a lot of us have came together.
Okay.
And so we all support each other's endeavors and visit each other when we're in different towns. I was just with Tom Satterley, famous Delta operator from Black Hawk Down. I was just in Austin with him in Operation Homefront with 50 special, or operators and their wives for a healing 3-day, camp out on this farm in Austin.
That's cool.
But all different kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was
That's
at
awesome.
the psychedelic conference with all the boys from Texas who just got the Ibogaine bill passed down there, and $50 million funding for research with former Governor Rick Perry.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go back to the 3-day event. So what was it? Were you sponsoring that? What was your point of being
we
there?
come out there as one of the sponsors, and
Okay.
we brought our two of our beds.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so all the 50 couples that went through there's different things, whether it be like a keynote speak or cold plunges. We were just one of the activities that they can do. They gave us our own little house, and we just set up in there.
Oh,
And
cool.
People would just sort of wait in line, and we would run them on a little 10-minute experience. And there wasn't not one wife that. Actually, there was one, but
Okay.
everybody pretty emotional because, especially in the infantry or the operator community, a lot of people are wound up really tight, and so their counterparts, their wives and their kids are wound up pretty tight too.
Yeah.
So they need their own healing, and oftentimes it's the veteran maybe going to something by himself and working on himself. But the veteran's family needs some healing time too.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other conversation about the loved ones and the ones that are watching the battle happen, within the veteran or whoever's dealing with the trauma, if that's the case. You know what I mean? Because they are along for the ride and they can only do so much. You know what I mean? So they're limited, and I'm sure you've probably gotten so many kind and positive words from people thanking you for. You said there's positive experiences, so they're obviously getting a positive experience because their loved one is seeing a new light, if you will. So
I mean, some of the
Yeah.
stuff that happened that happens on a daily, weekly basis. Sometimes one of the people that went through, she got up and she was in tears and she said, "My father died when I was 2 years old." And she said, I never met him. I don't really know what he looked like. She said, but I was sitting on the beach next to him the entire time.
Oh, wow.
And so people can really connect, and most of the time it's their loved ones that they haven't met, that in life they need to connect with that energy, right? You lose a mom or a father at a young age, or somebody that was supposed to be in your life through all these different things.
Yeah.
There's some things that as a human you missed out on that needed to be like a sort of notch in the belt. And in your psyche as you grow up, your childlike self needs those things to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
They need that love.
Yeah, wow. That is extremely powerful, though. I mean, that is powerful because the human experience does have components that are fundamental in our growth and our development. And when you miss out on those for whatever reason, it doesn't have to be death. It could be, family breaking up way before you even cognitively realize what's going on. It's so crazy to think that when you go into this state of mind, there's some repair that can happen, even though you're not even fully prepared to be repaired, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you didn't even know you need to be repaired. You just knew that there was something wrong.
Something wrong, and the depth that it goes is pretty incredible.
Well, you hide it really deep to protect yourself, right?
Okay,
and as you get older, you basically, the first big trauma that happens in life, you put on this suit of armor.
Mm-hmm.
And each time life happens, you just put on more and more weight on that armor. then when you get into get into my age, when most of the people come into the reality center start working on their mental health, it just gets so heavy.
Yeah.
And it creates stress and anxiety and dissonance and not eating healthy and bad habits and all those things. And our technology allows you to take it off for a little bit. And I tell everybody, you're going to feel a couple pounds lighter when you come out of here. Nobody disagrees with me.
Sure.
And I said, if you can think something and make your life worse, maybe you can think something, make your life a little bit better.
Absolutely, man. That's incredible, bro.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
powerful. It is so powerful.
So let me ask you something, man. How did you go from like doing the photography, videography, documentary things? How'd you go from that to the reality center? Was it something that you were missing and couldn't find? You know what I mean? Like, because obviously, like we were talking earlier, therapy for guys, it's like, I don't want to go and spend money to tell somebody my problems when they're going to tell me the answers I already know. You know what I mean? So like going to somewhere like this where, it's not just a conversation. It's something where, it's never been experienced before for me, but you're saying, hey, this is going to help you out. Where